there's a question that was often asked to me in the DMs of our amazing Twitter account.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say I got a message request from somebody I don't follow about once or twice every week asking if we would ever consider doing something as preposterous as a call-in show, a la our friends at Hotline League.
And every week you had the same answer.
Every week I said, we've talked a lot about this and we've just ultimately decided it's not the move for us. It's not what we want to do. We have no plans to do it. Matter of fact, just this past week, like I think Friday last week, this exact thing played out and I said, nope, sorry. We're not that kind of show. We're not doing it. It's just not what we are.
Mm-hmm.
And then at, let's see, what was it? Must have been like noon on Sunday. Send a message back to that person. I was like, listen, I know that we said some things,
but
made just watch our Twitter. Watch our Twitter. And we announced that we're doing
They don't show up.
Yeah, that's right. If you do not show up tonight, it's all your fault. And we're never doing it again. Actually, we're probably never doing it again anyway. But so let's make this one time a good one. Welcome, everybody. It's a special little edition, limited edition drop of Keep It 100, the new
Keep It 100,
the new one-time thing from 100 Talk.
Yeah, this is not a new show. Let's not overcommit ourselves to this. This is a special edition. This is a limited release. Nobody wants to listen to us do Fantasy GM again. We did it once. We had our swing at the piñata. And we're going to have a delayed release piñata. Who knows? Maybe all the candy falls out once Roster Mania begins.
Yeah.
But nothing like a little hedge in your bets. If you guys can bring some takes to us that we can create our own take out of, we're not too proud to do that. We will re-edit that footage of you saying a great take on our show and just replay it once it happens. That's really why we're doing this.
See, that's Jordan's motivation, maybe. On mine, I'm more of a I want to make fun of some people tonight. So bring on the takes. I'm gonna be so critical of you. No, don't be afraid. That's not what's gonna happen. Well, I may criticize, but just be prepared to defend your take. Here's what the show's all about tonight, everybody.
Yeah. Let's go through the rules.
Here is what we want to do. We want to primarily focus on roster stuff tonight. Specifically, we would like to talk about suggested roster changes. If we have some time, we may get to some additional questions. Mm-hmm. So, we'll think about doing that, but at least for the first little bit, let's keep the questions over to roster related stuff. And what we'll do, so right now I'm hitting the Discord command in our Twitch chat, and there's an invite link there. So you can hop in there, join our Discord. Once you're there, drop a text into the Wanna Be on the Show channel. And then once you're there, go into the voice channel for the Audible Hang. Make sure that your mic is working before you do this. And then Jordan will play the immortal Mark Zimmerman role of he'll pull you out of Audible Hang and get you into mic testing. And then he'll prepare you for the actual show. So we don't know how long we're going to go with this. We don't know what to expect because this is the first time we've ever attempted this. So we're looking forward to seeing what you guys got for us.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be brilliant. You guys are all geniuses. We know this from watching the chat during our regular show. It's your time to shine. Let's see what you got. Send your audition tapes. We're going to put a PO box. So send the tape in. We'll review the tapes.
VHS tape. VHS only. That's the only way we'll accept your submissions.
You've seen the VOD squad setup. We've got our VHS players ready. Some people call them VCRs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shall I go off to find our first brave taker?
Yeah, sure. And I'll mention one more thing. While we're doing that, we are going to grade your takes as well. We're going to grade your proposals, grade your takes On a scale of 100, we'll give you some letter grades, and we're gonna try and find the one person who's keeping it all the way 100 tonight. So
They're out there.
They're out there. They gotta be out there. We're looking for you.
Yeah.
Ozzy said he's gonna get that extra credit. He's going for 105 tonight. All right, Jordan, if you want to go hop into grabbing our first person, we'll see how this goes. If there's any scuffed production and stuff tonight, it's all on me. Don't fault Jordan. This crazy setup that we're doing, it's all me. So we've had some interesting experiences.
Let's see how it goes. All right, I'm gonna venture out here. See you later.
Okay, cool. Glad he did that after I told him to do it like 30 seconds ago. Jeez, who is this guy? Our first person is being grabbed right now. I'm a little excited about this. I'm a little nervous, a little excited. We're all ready to go here. I'm going to take one last sip of the Championships Thief mug. If you don't have one of these, by the way, trust us, there will be opportunities for you in the near future. If you'd like to grade Jordan's haircut while Jordan is getting set up with our first caller, please go ahead in the chat.
This is cool because you can see my video as I'm talking to our mystery first caller.
Yeah.
And
is our first caller ready?
They're ready. I'm going to bring them onto the show now. Everybody, please
welcome.
Say hello and welcome to Jarrett87.
Jarrett, what's up, my friend?
Not much. What about you?
Oh, we're just trying this new show, and we don't know how it's going to go. So we figured we'd go to old reliable Jarrett. Jarrett he's a rec leaguer.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you may remember him from some fantastic rec league appearances.
So he's
brought his friends to his dorm room just for this very moment. Do you hear the crowd behind him? That is
live studio audience.
That is the live studio audience. This is it can't get any realer than this.
Roommates. Our friends.
Jarrett,
we have
where
roommates too. They're called our kids.
That's right. Yes, but the limitations on what you can do with said roommates are a little different. Jarrett, where are you calling from, buddy?
My dorm room in Ohio.
In Ohio. All right.
Yes.
That's the obligatory question. We want to know where the worldwide 100 talkers are.
Yep.
The world of bipolarity.
Wow, that's a big one. That's a whole nother can of worms. I'm not prepared to go there yet. So, Jarrett.
That's an Ohio thing? I didn't know this.
Yes.
I guess different show. Well.
Yeah, different show. Where I am prepared to go with you right now is to your take. All right, your proposal, your roster, whatever you've got for us. Bring it on. Let us hear what you got. And put up your dukes. Be prepared to defend yourself because we are going to pummel your take.
Totally ready. So first thing is I'm going to keep Amazing Bang and Afro.
Okay.
Because Bang has the superstar potential that we saw from every now and then, such as the Ezreal play and the Captain Jack, where it felt like he started to get really comfortable with Afro, which is another reason why I'm keeping him.
Okay.
And Afro, along with Amazing, brings this senior leadership that comes with playing the game and then greater knowledge. And we've seen that Amazing has been rather productive compared to Anda from what we've seen so far in his early games towards the bot lane.
Yeah. Yes, certainly.
So my big thing is I'm not going to keep Someday.
All right.
It hurts to do.
Let me just hold on.
Kind boy.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of Kind Boy. Okay.
I'm going to go along the lines of Fake God, but not Fake God. I'm going with Youth.
Ooh.
And
Fake God's not Youth, huh?
I said alongside him.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought. Okay, yes.
So you keep Fake God at top.
Do you keep Fake God at top?
No.
Yeah? Oh no. Okay.
No.
All right. Let's hear it.
Just sticking with the Youth up top though.
Okay.
I want to go for either Kumo.
Oh.
But if we can't get him, I want to go for an up-and-coming college player by the names of Niles, who helped lead Maryville. They won the Nationals for college.
They've won it like 2 out of the last 3 years, right?
Yeah. And, well, he's a sophomore right now.
Okay.
So he's only been there for one of those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This year's. And he also helped lead them from an underdog story at Worlds to a second-place finish in Hong Kong. And after watching him, he has more of like a lane dominant play style, which is something that we haven't seen so far other than from Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And with having that youth, you can also ensure that as long as you can keep a contract tied to him, he'll be able to play for a long time.
So you're thinking of this guy as a foil to Fake God because he's going to bring more of that immediate lane dominance, where Fake God is still developing in that. We saw him become stronger in lane over the course of the split, but you're thinking that he's going to be able to bring that early.
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you a question, Jarrett, about this.
Mm-hmm.
So bringing in a collegiate player straight to LCS, he's not gonna go to academy first.
Well, that's why I said if we could get Kumo, if we could get him. But I do agree, like maybe give Fake God some time if we can't get Kumo, so we can get a few games, maybe like a season under Niall's belt of academy, and if he is doing well, promote him.
Okay, I was gonna say because like here's the thing, man. Like with League of Legends, obviously the college system is not it's not analogous to like college football or college basketball, where like you're there because you have to be and you're preparing for the next level. It's like if you're playing in college, that means you're definitely not good enough right now to be a pro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So that's a much steeper hill to climb.
May I? Some kids out there, their parents say to them, son or daughter, if you don't go to college, you're dead to me. Right? Like they get the ultimatum, which is you have to go. You cannot play this video game for a living. I'm going to make you go to school if you want any kind of financial, help from us. So I'm not saying that that's the case here, but sometimes you do get that kid who is getting the degree.
Yeah.
All right.
Cole.
What about okay, so that's Niles is your top lane backup to Fake God or vice versa, right?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kumo. If we get Kumo
yeah.
in top lane, he's good, right?
Yeah.
So you're trading the guy who didn't win Rookie of the Split for the guy who did. Then
because he didn't play as much.
Well, what's going on in mid lane?
I was looking at the people who are close to free agency or are in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that stuck out to me was either UCal or BDD. So that's where I would want my import.
Coming in hot. Coming in hot.
I mean, you can't say you wouldn't want it.
Yeah. I think... Give me a sec. Let me...
Okay, so I will say this. So UCal is a free agent after Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
His contract's up this year. So if you're UCal, Jarrett, why do you want to leave a Freak of Freaks and leave the LCK and come to 100 Thieves?
Actually, I was looking more towards BDD. That's my bad. Because
same question.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think there's a big difference in the fact that UCal on Africa is actually doing rather good.
He's doing great.
They might have not made it. Yeah, he's doing great. Where BDD on KT Roster, they really stuttered this year, and they were really bad overall. I think he could be looking for a new beginning, and with Bang taking that kind of step as well, he could kind of be there to help him because he's been through that, and can help him with the adjustment and all that stuff. And also, Papa Smithy kind of helps with that as well. Just because he does have the knowledge of who he is and how he can help.
Do you have any concerns about the career arc of BDD? If I'm not mistaken, he was King Zone in 2018. Is that correct? And I think he was. And King Zone kind of fell apart.
This is the part of the show where Cole flexes his LCK knowledge.
No, don't do that because I'm far from an expert in anything in the league. But the wheels kind of fell off of King Zone on him, and then obviously things have not gone well for KT either. So do you see him as on his way out of LCK, and so LCS is like a landing point for him, or do you see it as because like I agree with you when you say UCal and BDD are different because UCal like right now seems to be at his peak, whereas BDD seems to be like his best days are behind him. But is that off?
It sounds somewhat right. I think the one big thing is that if he's looking to go to a different team, I think one big thing is he's going to look for leadership,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what Amazing and Afro do have. And then you also have Bang, as I said, to kind of help with this whole transition, help him learn some English on top of like an English teacher. And it's going to be somebody who's gone through that whole transition and initially it didn't do well. So he's going to know like what works and what doesn't work for him and be able to give that sort of guidance as well.
Okay. Jordan, what do you think?
I think that you're right. We've got to use I almost like directly oppose my own take from not that long ago.
from 2 weeks ago when you had to do this yourself.
I'd say if you're playing the version of this game where your realism scores you points. Look, there were no points involved when we did our show.
Sure.
Then likely you're going to end up using your import slot on a mid laner, which I think 8 out of 10 teams in the LCS do. That's just a pretty common move. So yeah, I think that's right. I think you could probably, my guess is if I'm projecting onto what I think will likely happen, I think they're going to reach. So I don't know if your BDD pick is ideal, like if that's your ideal position player there, or if that's one you think is most likely. But my guess is I think Cole is picking up on something which is an interesting one. Is this is not somebody who has found success, and I think they're going to be looking at somebody who is coming from a squad that has been successful and that is coming from a winning organization now. The question always is, and the challenge is, how do you get somebody to leave that environment and come to an unknown place, especially if you're talking about an international trip? That's the hard thing about it.
And it probably feels like if you're a Korean player that you're going to the retirement home when you go to LCS. So and LCK players tend to be on the younger side, so they may feel like they have more career, in front of them than, let's go to the weakest major. Yeah. So they might feel like let me take a minute before I decide to go to the old man region.
Yeah.
Go
I'm seeing some people saying Papa Smithy. That's another thing that's happened since we did our show. So I'm guessing that more of these takes are going to involve some kind of connection to LCK. It's an interesting dynamic. I mean, that is for sure a draw for people.
Well, another thing I was just kind of noticed is that Xiaohu is also going to be a free agent, and I think he is still doing very well, but is nearing like that end.
Mm-hmm.
Where with RNG trying to be the best team that they can possibly be, I could see something happening with him and we could try to snap him up if he does get dropped. Something along those lines.
I'm
just because China
sure
has become this powerhouse of teams where you have to have the best to compete, and he's edging towards not his best anymore.
No, I'm a little out of my depth, but is Xiaohu, is he actually a Chinese player or is he a Korean player?
Because
if he's a Chinese player, I think the likelihood of us getting a Chinese player is even lower. Because
I actually have no clue.
Like if you're a Korean and you're coming, at least you've got Bang around, you've possibly got Ryu around the organization still, like people that you can rely on.
Real quick.
And chat's saying he's Chinese, so if that's the case,
okay, he's Chinese. Okay, then I didn't.
I think that's
I thought he was one of
pretty tough. So let's do
transfers.
this, Jarrett. Let's sum up. We'll conclude our beautiful time together with you giving us. So ideally, what's your built into your take? What's your 5-man roster? And then I'll have Jordan grade it.
Ideally, it would be Kumo, Amazing, Yukao, Bang, Afro. But if I was to go for a more realistic of the mid, I would go BDD.
Well, we got so which one are you standing behind?
Yukao.
Okay, Jordan.
All right, points for. I like that you're looking at the college group, and again, that's an area that I'm not that familiar with. I know that this guy has found success, so points for looking at some unthought of places. I'm going to say your mid pick. I think you could have reached further. I'd say I'd encourage you to go even hotter on your mid takes. in the future.
Wow, I'm not sure we
I
should
went
have
for
Jordan
Dwayne Wade
grading this.
initially, and you
No, but
roasted
listen, hear me out. The reason I'm saying that is because I think it's, the rationale behind that move is just not there for me. So it feels like a reach, but not like a here's why this is going to happen.
Yeah. So overall, out of 100, where do you grade Jarrett's take here?
I'm gonna say a 75.
75. Okay, Jarrett, it's been real.
There's no grade inflation here. By
You've
the way,
got a
that's good grade.
75. We're marking
Hey,
you down
C's
for
get
a solid
degrees.
C. C's get degrees. That's right. And
You're also the first one to go. So
you're
everyone
also
else
the
after you,
right.
you could set the curve, Jarrett.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you never know how
We'll
this is
see.
going to play out. But thank you for coming. Thank you for bringing your studio audience. And Jordan, let's go ahead and say goodbye to our friend Jarrett.
Jarrett, thanks, man. It's been real.
Yep, have a good rest of the stream.
It's been super real. Thanks, buddy. That was
Yep,
historic.
peace.
That was historic. Well, this is pretty crazy. Like, so we already out of the gate. We've got some wildness going on. Jordan, I'll encourage you to go ahead and queue up our next person while
All
I
right.
give just a couple thoughts for you guys who are about to come on the show. One is, I would say, trend toward realism with these takes, because anyone can like put together their complete, like, oh, we have $100 million on roster and we don't have import slot limitations. We can all do that. So I would encourage you guys to trend towards more realistic takes. I think Jarrett had a little bit of that in there, but some of it was kind of crazy to me. So we'll see how this plays out in the future. I did see Militime come through with the sub on Twitch, so thank you very much. I am thinking that if all of the conversations go that long, we may not get to everybody. So don't be offended if you come on and I'm like shortening you a little
Okay.
bit.
Yeah.
Jordan, are you back?
Cool. I'm back and I'm ready for the 6-hour marathon show. I think that's what you were just talking about, right?
Please no.
Yeah. All right. So our next caller is someone very special. They are the person you mentioned who you talked to on Sunday. And
Oh,
they
really?
Did show
Okay.
Up. They did
Cool.
show up.
Good.
It-
Good.
it
Let's
is
bring him right on.
Shadow Wing. So I'm going to bring him on if you want to update our current talker here so that the fans at home know how to spell Shadow Wing.
All right. Shadow Wing, are you here with us?
Yes, hey,
How are you, my friend?
I'm fine. I'm the DM guy.
Yes, that's right. So
DM.
yeah, I told the story of getting the DM from you this past week, and I told you this is not happening. So sorry. And then look at this. You're our second guest ever on the show. Look
How about
cool
that?
Yeah, that's right. Shadow Wing, where are you calling from, my friend?
I'm calling from Brazil.
Oh, and he's international. Our
That's
second
awesome.
caller is an international caller. That's even
Welcome.
better.
So I'm
Show.
sorry if my accent bores you guys.
No.
Not at
I
all.
hope
No.
it doesn't bore you at all.
It
No,
doesn't.
no.
It's super endearing, matter of fact.
You speak English very well.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
we could only dream of speaking a second language that well. So,
That is right.
Shadow Wing, let's go ahead. Why don't you drop your roster bomb on us? Let's see where you're going with
So-
this. And I will say, before you get started, I saw Shadow Wing talking in our Discord earlier today. He has promised a well-researched take, a realistic and well-researched take. So, you set the bar for yourself pretty high, man. I hope you can deliver.
Oh no. Okay. So I have been thinking about this a lot, and I think we should keep the idea of getting an aggressive comp roster,
Mhm.
having a really aggressive team. And I'm going for a take that is not the dream scenario. That is the take that, we don't get like 100 Thieves Björnsen like everyone wants. So I'm hoping for a more realistic one.
Okay.
And I'm only keeping Someday and Aframo.
Ooh, everybody else is gone?
It's a spicy one, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So
Can't wait.
top and support stay the same. We're getting rid of Bang.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of Ryu.
Yeah.
We're getting rid of everybody but those two guys, right?
Basically, yeah.
All right. Bring it on, man. What do you got?
Okay, I'm gonna have some alternatives for the roster, But for the jungle, the guy I'm thinking about the most likely for us to get is probably Acadian. That guy
Okay.
is not getting his job next year. TSM's getting blown up for sure. And I think Acadian is super good. He's super good mechanical jungler, and he has a lot of experience now. It's like his second year, or it would be his third year playing in LCS.
Hmm.
He has some idea of playing macro. He hasn't been great this last split, but I think it's more because TSM didn't want him to play the way he likely used to play, the aggressive one. And I think he would be a great fit for a roster that can like steamroll and snowball from the early game.
Okay.
The least likely, it's one that you guys already talked about, so I'm not gonna wait too many time on it. And it's Blabber.
Yep.
Mhm.
Blabber is super good. I'm not gonna wait any more time besides that.
Yeah.
Can-
And the
can you
issue
do-
being the cost on Blabber, which we've talked about. So
Yeah.
Is that the reason that you also would prioritize Acadian over Blabber?
Yeah, I think if there is a real possibility for us to get Blabber, Blabber is obviously I would prioritize Blabber, but since it's not likely, I would say Acadian.
okay.
He I think you're right. He seems to be out of a job.
All right. Let's hear the rest of the roster before we go through.
Okay, so for the mid lane, I think we should use an import slot for mid lane.
Okay.
We should grab one of the guys you talked about was Larson. I think Larson is a super good option, but I think another great option for us is Leader.
Ooh.
Misfits is probably blowing up their roster as well and starting from scratch. Maybe they keep Hansama, but I don't think they go beyond that. And I think Leader has a great potential. He's not the best player in the world. He's not stellar by any means, but I think he's a possible mid laner for us, a realistic one at least. That is the most likely take. The second one would be BDD, but we already talked about it,
Okay.
so going
right.
past that.
Yep.
And the guys were talking about on Twitch chat about this. I was preparing for this. I think we should try and grab Knight from top.
Knight. Wow.
I think he's probably very frustrated for not getting to Worlds this year. He made a very mediocre roster. Get to 4th place in the LPL. The guy won MVP, and I think if we are going to throw money at someone, he's the guy. He's probably one of the world's best mid laners right now, and he's not even going to Worlds. That's like crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And I think if we are going to throw money at someone, he's the one.
Okay.
He's
So
on contract.
yeah. So the guy who's going to get all the money from you is going to be Knight.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's mid lane.
Yeah.
Okay. What
So-
you have in bot lane for us?
So bot lane is a big problem because we would need a domestic ADC, but the one I'm looking for is someone that already played with Afromu, so we
I
have
knew it.
an idea, and everyone knows it. It's Tixey.
Yeah.
He's a free agent on the next year. He's a solid bot laner. I don't think Stixey and Afromu would like smash double lift and car JJ by any means, but they can hold their own at least. And the rest of the map would be the way to win the games. We would steamroll through the rest of the map and hold bot lane. Stixey can carry if needed, and if we don't get Stixey, I even think we should grab then Asta.
Oh, okay. That's reaching down a little bit, I think. Am I wrong on Asta?
Yeah, I think so. But when we talk about NA AD carries, we don't have a lot to choose from.
Sure.
If we weren't 100 Thieves, I would say Codison, but that's completely off the table.
Yeah, probably. Off the table.
So Stixey is probably our best option for this this roster to work, we basically have to grab Sticks A.
All right. So let's back up. We're gonna take this player by player, and we're gonna try and move a little quickly. So I forgive us in advance for not going super deep on all of them.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
So Acadian, right? And your reasoning with Acadian was that A, he's available. B, he's obviously not going to be, playing with TSM. And C, you like his ability to make an early snowball. Was that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Acadian, I think Acadian's okay. Actually, I know a lot of people are not that excited about him. To me, though, and this will probably, people will probably disagree with me on this, but to me, it's like of the two, I would rather have Greg, I think, to snowball. Like, it just seems like he's the one who can make those early aggressive plays a little more consistently than Acadian, but at the same time, when it doesn't work for Greg, it does not work, period. So it's like if it doesn't go, then your gamble doesn't pay off at all. Whereas Acadian can still hang around and salvage some things. But what do you make of the fact that, like, obviously something happened with TSM? Do you think that's a TSM specific situation, or do you think there's a chance he could bring that to 100T also?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I think that's more a TSM situation. There's the whole Bjergsen just wants a ward for a jungler meme, and even Damonte shout out when Clutch won the gauntlet. He said, "I'm doing this for you, Acadian."
Yeah, that's right.
And even though Acadian stated that no, it's not a TSM issue, I'm okay with that. I don't buy it. I just don't buy it.
You don't buy that it's not a TSM issue?
Yeah, I think it is. Okay. I think Acadian wanted to play a way that does not fit TSM, and things just didn't work out from that.
I tend to agree with this, and I feel like when we saw TSM in very strong form in spring, it was like they settled on Acadian then. You know, like they had gone back and forth with Acadian and Greg. It kind of seemed like, all right, Acadian's the dude, and they looked pretty good. You know, obviously they had that second place finish and everything. So I think, yeah, I think there's something to that perhaps. Jordan, any thoughts on Acadian before we jump back down to mid lane?
My only concern is, you know, we've got to be careful that we don't get back into the AFK farm. I don't think that Acadian is that person, but when we talk about, you know, getting a lead and snowballing it early, that is kind of what we went into spring 2019 with. Was we knew that Ando was very good. You know, his CS numbers are good. He gets good farm. We couldn't turn our leads into meaningful late game difference. So if that were the only change, or if that were like the pitch for Acadian, I'd have some reservations, but that's not the only thing. And I think the other changes would help us prevent us from becoming a passive squad with this roster, or at least one that just tries to get leads and then can't really do much with them.
Okay, let's jump down to your mid lane suggestion. And let's just talk about what's most likely, which you pegged as leader. Is that correct?
Yeah, either leader or Larson.
Here, my issue with Larson, and I am the one who said this on our fantasy GM pod. I think Larson would be a great pickup for us. He's got, I think, 2 years left on his contract. He's going to be super expensive. I kind of view that in the realm of not super possible, but at the same time, I think if we're going to spend money on any spot this offseason, it's going to be at the mid lane position, and I think we do want an EU import. So I will say that. But leader, do you have any concerns about how leader's debut in the LEC has gone?
Yeah, I think leader is a super volatile player. Like, he either goes 5-0 in lane and carries you the game, or he goes 0-5 and doesn't do anything. Like, but I think.
Thank you for keeping it family friendly, by the way. I appreciate that. And I forgot to say that in the rules of the show, and I appreciate that, man. You're doing well.
Extra points.
Thank you. So the leader, I think that's more because he's just starting to play in the LEC. He didn't play any other games, so I think he's just maturing as a player, and I think in an A he would have a lot of room to grow. for growth. So I think our mid laner can not be just like this old guy. Like I don't think BDD would be the best choice because I think these guys are already on the league for a long time, and I think getting some fresh blood, some young blood for our team would be the best idea.
I just when I think about leader, I think of that picture of Klay Thompson where he's fouled out in the finals game. It's like fouled out with like 0 points and like 4 like turnovers or something, and he's just sitting on the bench like that's what I think of when I think of leader. So I mean, I do agree that there's obviously potential there. Like I forget what they call it, like EU Masters or whatever. The big tournament that's he crushed there, like he destroyed people. And I personally am of the opinion, despite not liking LEC at all, that their mid lane talent is way better than mid lane talent that we have. So I think there's higher likelihood that he would crush here. Jordan, any thoughts on leader before we move to bot lane?
It is. You're putting all your chips in one number with that, and like you said, he's going to win you the game, or chances are he might lose you the game. It's a huge risk. I think the bias is to go for a safer bet. But what I like about your take here is that you're basically crafting a team that is going to have the identity as an aggressive squad. And who better to be on that squad than leader?
All right, that's on brand, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So are you going with Stixay as your main bot lane pick?
Yeah, Stixay.
Okay. Now, actually, interestingly enough, I was listening back to our off-season roster show from the end of 2018 that we did, and we had brought up Stixay as maybe a thing. Over the time, I've come to think of Stixay and Biofrost as like an inseparable force. Like Stixay seemed to not really get unlocked until he and Biofrost were like really just one unit, and ever since then they've just gotten better and better. And so to me, it's like if I'm thinking about the value of Stixay, a lot of it's tied into having Biofrost as his support. Jordan and then Shadowwing, how do you react to that argument?
I mean, yeah, they're a known pair at this point, and I think you said the same about Big and Arrow, like how they, that's their brand, right?
And bad hairlines, but yes, go ahead.
But don't you guys think that with Aphromood that could be the same? I mean,
that's what I thought is
super experienced.
There's history, right?
I already played with him. Yeah,
there's history. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a little bit more technical probably than we want to get into, but the thing that kept me from moving Bang when I was coming up with my take is he's on contract. You've got to do something with him. Like it's not just like you don't sign and then he's no longer the option you have. That's money that's out there. So that's a tough one.
I will say this just because I'm not sure it was said, but Stixay is a free agent after this year.
Yeah.
So he is available. He's not tied in any sort of buyout situation. So he does have that going for him.
Listen, I don't hate it. I'm not convinced that an import in bot lane is what is needed, just in general. And this allows you to get someday back into the starting squad. So I think there's a real benefit there, especially with two guys who synergy is not going to be an issue, assuming that they didn't kind of flame out toward the end of their time playing together.
I will say this. So what's your plan? What are we going to do with Bang? So if we get Bang's not starting, so what do you do with him? Do you keep him in academy? Do you trade him? What goes on?
What I was thinking is I don't want Bang playing in an A because I don't want that guy against us. So what came to my mind was trading him for the mid lane import, most possibly.
Okay. So you're relying on a team being willing to take a Korean player from NA who hasn't done well into EU?
That's not necessarily into EU. Like I said, Knight, for example, could be the
but remember, we're going with your top 5, like your realistic 5.
Yeah, I think Misfits would like Bang. Misfits is probably rebuilding that entire roster. And I think getting a guy like Bang from the start wouldn't be bad for them. I think that's a possibility. They might,
Build around it.
yeah.
All right. Well, I guess should I grade this one, Jordan?
I think this
you
one's
graded
up to
last
you.
one.
Yeah.
All right. So Shadowwing, first of all, super cool that our second caller ever is from Brazil, and I think you did a very good job justifying your stuff. I think there are some holes, and it doesn't seem like super plausible to me, but it doesn't seem like you're reaching that much, at least considering the 5 that we talked about. I do have a problem with the Bang thing. I think Bang is a hard asset to deal right now because he's on presumably a very large contract, and he's an import player, so there may be some doing there, and it may be more difficult than we think. But I do like what you're saying a lot. So Acadian seems to be a little bit weak, but at the same time, I think it's a realistic thing. So in terms of realism, you scored decently well with me. I think I'm going to give overall the take an 85. I'm going to give this an 85.
Yeah, 85 is all right. It's good.
Oh, that's very good.
I think like I see what you're saying, man. It seems difficult to pull off, but it does seem a little bit more in the realm of possibility, especially since you dropped the Knight thing. Knight's not leaving, man. He's not leaving LPL.
We can all dream, right?
Yeah,
we can all wish.
Yeah, that's a dream scenario, not the realistic one.
Yeah.
Your realistic scenario was a good one.
You've got very split opinion in the Twitch chat, by the way. So you can hop in Twitch chat and battle that out. Some people really like it, some people really don't. So take it up with El Greco 17.
Marks who
I'm
have
gonna take
not,
a look at it.
yeah, they've not given their own take yet. So put an asterisk by that score.
Shadowwing, thank you for calling, man. Thank you for listening and being our first international dude on the show. And we love you already. We miss you already too.
We love you.
Goodbye.
Take care, buddy. See you.
Bye.
Jordan, if you want to queue up our next bro here, or broette, sister, whatever you want to say.
Broette.
While you're doing that, I need to give a shout out to Treasury member Dylan.
Yeah.
Craven Dylan gifted 10 subs in the chat while we were going through that take because he is a super real one. Now, why is that even crazier? And Jordan, go ahead and queue up our next one, please.
Yeah. Just a quick reminder, if you do want me to pull you, make sure you're in the Audible Hang channel.
Yes, go to the Audible Hang channel, please.
Yep.
If you're in the Discord. And I'll hit the Discord command in chat so you guys can see where to join and jump in. But again, returning to Dylan, so particularly notable is the fact that he has now gifted 103 subs in our channel. That's 103. He's hit triple-digit gifted subs. So please spam that Steve to thank Dylan Craven for the crazy support of Hunter Talk. It has been unending. This is normally the time where if I was on another show, I would talk about our sponsors. So let me just tell you something. I deeply desire to be sponsored by a Pepsi product. If anyone out there can make that happen.
So glad to be sponsored by Pepsi for this podcast. I just got into that. It's really good news.
I'm glad you came in right for me making the Pepsi thing. Jordan knows how much I would like to be a Pepsi product.
This man, he likes Pepsi.
Yeah.
All right. We've got our next caller lined up. And it's somebody I think you're going to be very excited to hear from.
Nice.
Listener, at least Discord listener, Summertime Frost is going to join us here.
Summertime Frost, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Been listening to you guys for
what? I'm sorry, you cut out.
Oh, looks like I dropped him there. Or
Jordan booted you already?
I didn't do this. Did I do this?
You said I was so excited to hear from this guy, and then you got rid of him.
Let's see if he can come back. Summertime Frost, if you can hear us, please come on back.
Come on back home, buddy. Come on back home.
He promised a very spicy take, so...
Do you want to pull our next one while we wait for him to show up? Because it looks like he's not immediately back.
We'll get him back in. Maybe his
Summertime Frost, you can be the next one on the list here.
Next one, all right.
Go ahead, Jordan.
All right. I'll be right back.
We are figuring out how to do the go and fetch people for the call thing. It's been very fun. Run through this setup for the first time. This is what, one of the reasons why we didn't want to do this kind of show is because we don't we don't know the best way to get it done. So we're happy you're here for this journey of discovery with us. I think Jordan's testing the mic of someone who you guys will know very well. Twitch chat will know this guy very well. If you're not in Twitch already, if you're watching on YouTube, I would encourage you to hop in Twitch chat. It's a little livelier. Twitch.tv/100TalkPod 100.
Twitch chat is popping. And you know what that means. It's time for our next talker.
Who also has been a Rec League player as of late, as of the last episode. Welcome to the show, YaBoyGraff. Bring on Graff.
Graff is here. Graff promised big things from his take. He said it may even cure diseases.
Yes.
Coming from Graff, I kind of would believe that.
Yeah.
Because he has cured many diseases through the gifted subs in our chat that he has given away. I'm told he builds wells in Africa.
Yeah, get these fantastic mugs.
It's the same thing as a water project in Africa. You're delivering water to my mouth right now.
That's a water project.
Graff, where are you calling from, buddy?
I'm calling from my apartment in New Haven, Connecticut, where I'm at school.
In where, Connecticut?
New Haven,
Connecticut. All right, cool.
Represent.
I'll make a polite request if you can just make sure to get close to your mic when you're talking. Make sure that picks you up nice and clear because I am so eager to hear your take. Coming straight from New Haven, Connecticut. Here's Graff with his roster take for 100 Thieves. Go ahead, buddy.
I want to preface this by saying I'm only keeping Bang. Everyone else can go.
Okay, so he is burning it to the ground, everyone. Keeping Bang.
They're gone.
Everything else getting burnt to the ground. This is all right.
I'm guessing you're getting rid of the academy team too, right? Like, just
not all of them. But,
okay.
I mean,
Let's get
I
into
do
it.
think the biggest problem. I won't put 10, but I think the biggest problem with 100 Thieves this year is they didn't have anybody behind the main team they could realistically put into the thing. So if something goes bad, they didn't have anybody. But top
no
lane,
redundancies.
I think we keep Fake God. I think the ceiling is really high for him. And
Michael Jordan would say the ceiling is the roof.
Well, I'm not Michael Jordan, and I would never have made some of the commercials that he made. So that's on him.
Okay, so ceiling's high on Fake God. All right.
Second for jungle, I think we either make.
Wait. Can I clarify? Sorry, let me stop you. So Fake God ceiling is high, but he's not staying.
No, he is staying. He's
the one. He's the one that's staying.
He's the one. Yeah,
okay, sorry, excuse me. Okay, Fake God is staying. The young boy is all that's left.
He's earned it. Yep.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I guess I'm keeping Fake God in back.
Okay, yeah. All right. So we're getting rid of 3 out of 5, and
I'm getting rid of everybody, starting with keeping Fake God.
It's like that. It's like in Goldmember where he's like, everyone out, not you. All right, go ahead.
I think for jungle that after TL crashes and burns at Worlds, they're going to get rid of their only weak link in Smithy, and that we're going to snatch him right up, and he's going to be our jungler. So it's clear to me.
So
that is clear to you. Okay.
It's clear. Now, are you saying they're not going to make it out of groups?
No, I don't think they're going to make it out of groups.
Woo!
I think they're going to be exploited in the jungle to such an extent that they don't have map control, and I don't think Double Lift performs at Worlds, and so they can't win through bottom lane.
All right.
They're going to exploit jungle so hard that we're going to happily sign him to our squad.
It's not sounding good, man. It's not sounding good. But I will say
we
this.
don't have to be the best. We just have to be better than 8th and 10th.
That's true.
As stated when I was giving my take on this, he is a free agent. All right, go ahead.
All right.
Mid lane.
In mid lane, another spicy meatball that's obvious. I think that we pick up a big mid laner. I think the key to mid lane is stability. So either somebody like Bjergsen, but he has to be like Bjergsen or Golden Glue, somebody who's really stable. But I would obviously go for Bjergsen. But that's just that's who you throw the bag at.
You throw the bag at Bjergsen, but you can't put Golden Glue in there and say you throw the bag at Golden Glue.
No, you don't throw the bag at Golden Glue.
Okay, I just want to, we just got to be ultra clear that these are 2 very different choose your adventure paths that we're taking. All right, I just want to point that out. Okay.
Bottom lane is Bang, of course, and then for the purposes of having a really good bottom line, I think that we pick up a support who's just on the end of his contract and just failed to qualify for Worlds in Europe, and that is Ignar.
Ooh. Okay.
He really wanted to go to Worlds. He didn't make it.
Yeah. All right. Ignar is the support pick, huh? So
He's got a huge champion pool.
Let's recap. So the 5 positions were Fake God. What was jungler again? So Fake God, Xmithy. Are you going with? You got to roll with. You got to pick one. Are we going Bjergsen, or are we going Golden Glue?
We're going big or going home. We're going Bjergsen.
All right, Bjergsen, Bang, and Ignar. All right. Where do you want to start, Jordan?
Whoo! That is a spicy take. Whoo!
Ignar is not a name I've heard mentioned for this position yet. So
yeah, no, it's new. It's new.
And I admittedly I did not see the Schalke Gauntlet games, so I don't know like how that went down because I don't watch LEC. You know.
Yeah. You watched the finals. I give you credit for that.
I did watch the finals, and I did watch the final Gauntlet series, but.
Expand on why you would rather have Xmithy over Amazing. Just give me your reasons. I don't want to assume anything here.
I think that he's a better mechanical player than Amazing. I think he's just been more consistent across the years as a jungler, and I think that with Anda behind him, that we could look at maybe even training up a jungler for seasons afterward.
So I think that means we re-sign Anda to Academy.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Anda could even be had for Academy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's
if he would take it?
Yeah, and is he? I should know this because
he's
I
up.
should be 100. Is he up? Yeah, okay, yeah, he's up. All right.
Okay, so Xmithy Anda. I mean Bjergsen, I like. Obviously.
Bjergsen's pretty self-evident. All right, we're not going to spend time talking about Bjergsen.
Yeah.
So you're like. But out of curiosity, connected to the Bjergsen take, like what is the price for Ignar? Like, what do you think it takes to get that done?
I don't think he's a tier 1 player. I think his stock has significantly fallen after his time in Europe. But the big deal for me is I think the biggest problem that Afromoon and Bang had was the language difference and also the difference of expectation for what should be going down in bot lane, which is a big issue because Afromoon was supposed to be sort of the voice in that lane. And I think the biggest plus here is while we're putting both of our imports in bot, we're also putting 2 people who have more similar expectations for what bot lane should look like, and also there's a language barrier. So I think Ignar is the big plus, but I don't think he's got the same years.
Now I could be off base here. It could very well be the case because, like I said, I just don't like to watch LEC, man. But isn't Ignar like kind of aggressive? Isn't he like a little more on the like let's fight now side?
Yeah, he's a huge initiator.
So what about Bang, man? Bang does not seem to be that guy, right? Bang seems to be like, all right, I don't know if I can trust this support guy, so I'm gonna play super calm. I'm only gonna go in twice a split and be aggressive. The rest of the time I'm gonna just chill and play like Korean style where I'm just gonna take the 90-10, you know.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to chalk up Bang's lack of aggression in lane to a lack of cohesion with Afromoon, because I think that Afromoon had such a strong voice that there was an issue like deciding when to go in, deciding when to make big plays, and I think Bang was so nervous about that he wasn't aggressive. But I think that I think Ignar is going to help Bang as much as Bang is going to help Ignar, and I think that when you may have a great engaged support, it's easier to go in.
Oh, okay. I think for me, the question mark on this roster is my concern would be that bot lane feels isolated in that, these guys, I don't know. I'm having a lot of the same concerns I had about our current roster, which is if you don't have synergy, right? So if Bang and Ignar don't see eye to eye right away, if the playstyles are so different that they are just not able to kind of fall into a strong synergy right away, then I think we're starting either where we are or maybe even a step back bot lane currently. Because I think the way you described Ignar and the things that you like about him, you could say a lot of the same things about Afro, right? We know he's aggressive. We know he wanted to go in. And while I think that, Bang wasn't obviously either used to that or expecting that, and that was a big thing that prevented him from playing as we know he can, I would have a similar concern. And maybe both of them being Korean would change that dynamic in some significant way. But I would be concerned that it wouldn't. And so that for me is kind of the question mark. We don't know how those other questions would play out. But then you're also kind of just hoping that, mid lane, top lane still kind of a question mark, I think, with Fake God. Like it's definitely not it's not clear to me what he looks like as a player next year.
It's speculative though. It's kind of a speculative play. And like Fake God, his weakness, right, is in lane, right? Like he can't lane quite where he needs to yet.
Yeah.
Gotta be the easiest fixable thing that there is about being a player, Here's what I'll say. Graff, I think that, you have to see Bjergsen and Xmithie as an upgrade, right? Like I don't see a way around that. Like that feels like a significant upgrade in mid and jungle, which feels great. You have to start wondering, like, is this the year that Xmithie is going to fall off? Because that dude's not young. So, I mean, do you have any concerns about age from Xmithie? And then tearing up the possible bot lane synergy with Bang is my other one. How did you answer those two concerns?
I think that there are opportunities. I think Anda had such a great sort of groundswell of quality in the last split that I would take the risk with Xmithie because of his knowledge of the game, because of his experience in the game, knowing that if it didn't work out, that there's still an option with Anda. But the big idea of the team is that there's a big leader in mid lane now, which 100 Thieves has been lacking. Sort of like an aggressive number one carry in mid lane, and that's Bjergsen. And so that helps the sort of team have an identity. In terms of the Bang and Afro synergy, I just don't think there is great synergy there. That's why I think that we can split up the lane. And I think that there's an easier synergy there with Ignar because of his past in Korea and because of what I think Bang respects him, and I think he respects Bang. And I think that sort of them being disconnected from the map, like Jordan mentioned, is solved primarily by the experience coming out of jungle and mid, which we haven't had on the team before. I mean, it's been so we've been sort of putting bot lane in such positions that they have to carry because we can't expect Ryu to lane, and we can't expect sort of that bottom part of the map to be a sort of unit. And so I think that Xmithie's experience helps bring in the roster, and I think if Bjergsen's leadership helps the bot lane problems.
I mean, that's not bad reasoning, I don't think. I'm still not sold on Bang Ignar lane working personally.
That's
it just feels like such a style clash that I'm not wholly convinced on that, but I do like what you're saying about Bjergsen and the change that he affords the rest of the team. Go ahead, Jordan.
This is not something that Graff, you didn't bring this up yourself, but I think we want to be an aggressive team. I think we've heard probably say that. We know Afro wants to play aggressive, and he does. It just kind of makes me go back to this question of, is Bang somebody who can play that style? Like, is that in his DNA as a player? If, we can bring in all the aggressive players we want, but if that's just not how he thinks the game should be played, or it's not how he wants to play the game, that's going to be, there's always going to be a mismatch there. So just a quick note on another big question mark for us in this offseason.
I think Bang is kind of like Someday in the fact that he is not a primary carry person. He's not the person that you should have first. But when he has somebody who is really aggressive, who can be his first carry, then he's unlocked a lot more on the map to make risky plays and bad decisions. But if he feels like he has to be the primary carry, like if we look at even the last split of SKT, Bang was making huge plays because he had somebody like Faker at mid to back him up as the primary carry. And so I think that somebody like Bjergsen, instead of somebody like Ryu, isn't a carry. He's just like is a supportive mid who can make big plays, but isn't expected to be the primary carry or the primary damage dealer. Somebody like Bjergsen is your number one guy, and I think that somebody like Bang is your number one and number two guy. And if you can get him through the laning phase with great engaged champs on your support, even rack up a big lead in bottom lane, then you will come out of laning phase with an amazing support. If we look at Ignar's past, like in Worlds a couple years ago, he's landing those huge hooks onto people like Faker. He's playing the lane in the bot lane. That's just that was totally out of the meta. He like changes the meta at Worlds. You come out of the lane with Bang and Ignar, you have an opportunity to be a really aggressive team who can make big engages. And I think that Bang is sort of unleashed because he's the number two and not the number one guy anymore.
All right, let's wrap. So Jordan, having heard that beautiful monologue from Graff, what's your grade? What's your grade?
All right. I'm gonna go. I think that's a really good point, Graff. I think that's a really good insight. That Bang is not used to playing as a primary carry. I think that's right. I'm gonna give you a solid 80.
All right. He has spoken.
Yeah.
The greatest happened. You get a B-. You get an 80.
That's a B-. If I'm playing League, I feel pretty good about myself.
Yeah, I mean, I never get that high when it comes to League. Graff, thank you for coming on, giving us some wonderful nuggets to think about. We love you and we miss you already. And thanks for all the gifted subs. Graff is a valued member of the Treasury. Everybody, remember that.
He is indeed.
All right, we will. We'll see you on Rec League, I'm sure, at some point soon.
Oh yeah, see you later.
All right.
All right, let's.
Jordan, if you want to pull Furho in here, please. I would like to have him.
We're going to go back to CozmikFlash as well, and he is, the one who his name changed. He's now CozmikFlash. He's back.
Oh, I was looking for the
Yeah.
Let's go with Furho, and then we'll get CozmikFlash. Sorry, CozmikFlash. Furho has to go, so I want to make sure we get him in here.
Mike, and then we'll go back in.
He has been one that has been asking to come on for a long time. So CozmikFlash, we will get you in next, and we thank you for your patience. That was an interesting take. I'm like, gosh, I'm really not sold on the Ignar thing personally. Yeah. So chat, you can tell me what you think about that. But man, I'm just like not quite there yet. But I like the thinking behind everything, especially the stuff behind Bang.
These are some good takes. Like people are thinking about this. I definitely appreciate that.
I'm really happy so far. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You guys are delivering the goods. Okay, we're gonna try and like speed things up more a little bit. So we're just gonna continue to pick up pace a little bit, and we'll see how long we can keep this thing going. But for now, we have our friend, who I believe is also an international caller. But I may eat my crow if that ends up being wrong. Furho, how should we say your name? In fact.
Hello. So actually, it's Ferho.
Ferho.
Yeah, for Joe, it's okay.
We're going to go with Ferho. All right?
Ferho.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Ferho, welcome. Where are you calling from?
Bogota, Colombia.
That's right. Our second
awesome.
internet. We're 50-50 international. Man, Hunter Talk is worldwide, everyone.
Level in 6 months, baby. Shout out to Oak Boys.
Shout out Oak Boys. Shout out John Robinson.
Shout out John Robinson.
Shout out Mud Dog. All right.
Right. So
Ferho, you have been like itching to talk on this thing. All right. So I'm expecting absolute greatness from you.
Of course, man.
All right. Let's hear it. What you got?
First of all, bot lane, Afromu, and Bang.
Okay. Staying the same. Got it.
Yeah, they got Bang on a really big contract. They're not going to lose money on him.
Yep.
There's no team that is willing to pay for him. As you said, he's a washed up NA player right now.
Whoa, slow down. You can't say, as you said, he's a washed up player. I said he's hard to deal right now.
I mean,
he's not at peak performance. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it's not at peak performance.
Wow, man. You are going to get me in serious trouble, bro.
Okay. Afremu is the face of the team. Nature
Okay.
is not dropping him. It's not happening.
You know,
Maybe-
I've often said that I feel like Afremu is like the face of the franchise as far as LCS is concerned, and so
Yeah, he's going to retire with 100 Thieves.
all right,
Love it or hate it.
I feel you.
Okay, second. So bot lane stays the same. They improved towards the end of the season. They are improving on solo queue right now. I think Avram is eager to become better in the LCS. So spam this fire to make Avram retire. Yeah, he wants to end with that. Okay,
Yeah,
so
he's not going anywhere. He's not done.
yeah. So Jungle Juice as a coach, assistant coach. Yeah, he's leaving. He's quitting. They are firing him. I don't know, but he's not coming back.
All right, that would
Okay.
make
Yeah.
me so sad. I like him.
We didn't
Yeah,
even
I love
ask for
him.
perspective on assistant coach, but you
Yeah, but that's because assistant coach is going to be amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, Amazing has a really poor champs pool at this moment for the meta and for the international stage, and
Okay.
in every aspect you think about. They took him because they needed a NA residence jungler that was available at the moment.
They did.
Yeah, but he has not a champion pool. He's old, but he's good on coaching, and I think 100 Thieves is a good place for him to start coaching, as Ryu tried.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening with Ryu. I don't care. I love him,
Ooh.
but I don't care.
Oh, okay. All right. At least you said got the I love him in there. Because I was like, dang man, he is like the savior of our split this year. I mean, I know we finished 8th, but like at least we had hope because of him.
I mean, the man wanted to retire, and we had to bring him back on the keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel
okay, fair
sorry
enough.
for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm with that.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah, Fake God is coming back to Academy.
Ooh, okay.
100%. Yeah, you just need to look at his Twitter. He says he's grateful only on the heist. He said something like, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I don't know if I deserve a rookie of the split, but I think I did my best. I was improving towards the end of the season. That's it. He's a rookie, and he really did well this season. I love him, but he wants to get better. And I don't think Nadeshot wants to get rid of him. He's not even a league player, but he knows the talent he has.
Yeah.
I think 100 Thieves wants to keep him, develop him for the future.
Okay.
Yeah, someday he's going to start.
All right. So
That's
you've got your
for
import
sure.
slots used.
Yeah, so okay. So for jungler, I have Xmiti.
Okay. Another Smithy vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's,
I'm going with it because
how do we get Smithy? What is it? How do we?
Yeah, Homie wants to prove he can get a championship without double lift.
Oh, okay. So like an LCS title, that is, right?
Yeah, exactly. An LCS title. He wants like to prove he's not the, because I've seen those comments right now. Like people think Xmiti is good because double lift is so good. He makes Xmiti looks good.
Okay.
I don't think that's fair. He's a solid player, international, international experience, residence, fully English. I think it's a good take. And
let me ask you
100
this, since we did ask a little bit about how we get Xmithy. I mean, if you're Liquid, who are you bringing in to replace him? That's an upgrade.
Okay.
Because this is the thing. It's like if
I was
Liquid, we know
thinking about
has the check they can write, right? They can write
exactly,
any check.
But they already have the 2 imports. That's the thing, because they have Impact and Core JJ. So I'm asking the same, but the thing is we also have the check to get his Xmiti.
Okay, but like still though, so they have to fill that
Impact-
spot that they're giving away.
Impact does have residency.
Oh, Impact. Okay,
And-
they're getting Peanut next season. That's it.
They're getting who?
So
Peanut from.
Oh, Peanut. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, Peanut. Got it.
Peanut.
yeah, so they've got an open spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got room for an import. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
and then
if to go back to your take, if Smithy leaves, they could. The world is their oyster.
okay, so mid lane.
Okay, mid lane. Oh, that's where the interesting part begins. So I'm going with Damonte.
Oh, with this our first Demonte. Okay.
Ooh,
And
okay.
a talent in the house. We got the money to buy his contract out from Dignitas.
It's very
So,
likely.
yeah, he wants to
Yeah,
win.
I think they're in need of some money based on the order number of the jersey I had to buy for the show. I'll say that.
Oh, you bought the yellow one? Oh,
Yeah, I
man.
had to buy that to pay off a bet, and my order number was very low, and it wasn't on day one. I'll say that.
Oh, then
Okay, so
F.
DeMonte, we buy DeMonte,
DeMonte.
right? How many years
Yeah,
does he
we
have
buy
left? Let me pull up the
Say 1.
thing.
one,
here.
I think.
Just 1 year.
Yeah.
Yep, he's got one more year. It's 2020. All right. And why are we taking DeMonte here?
Okay. First, NA in the house. So I know, like, we already got 2 Koreans, so they want to keep it low key.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, and also I don't think with all the memes about 100 Thieves always taking imports and having to build towards international players, I think they want to get some local power, so that's why I'm going with DeMonte. I don't think Bjergsen is a good option, and I'm gonna go with the same thing. He's a washed up NA player at the moment.
Okay, we were wondering when the spice was really gonna hit. I think
Yeah.
our question was
Get your
just
peppers
answered.
ready in the chat.
Yeah.
Just hit the spice meter
So,
off the rails.
so your take is that Bjergsen is not a good pick, not because he's expensive or hard to get, but because he is washed up
Yeah,
and old. Oh my goodness, that.
yeah. He's
So,
old.
so would you say that Bjergsen is worse than DeMonte right now?
Yeah, 100%.
100%, bro. Okay, I don't know. Jordan, it's all you, man. I don't know what to do with this one.
I mean, okay. Oh, by the way, so just wanted to clarify. Okay, so Broly is staying. Nate ups
Okay.
him. Yeah. So I think Papa Smithy is going to build towards any talent. I think he's not going to go towards LCK things. Yeah, I think he knows how bad is LCK right now. I mean, not bad, but it's underperforming versus EU or other
Relatively, yeah,
regions.
sure.
Relative. So yeah. Papa
Well, we'll
Smithy is
see after Worlds.
Yeah, we'll see after Worlds. Oh, that's the other thing. Like, I think Academy is going to stay the same. We are trading Anda 100%. If we get someone like Xmiti, Anda is such a good player. He deserves to be on an LCS team. And Fragas got moved out of the Academy roster because of him. So I think they're taking Fragas and developing his talent with the rest of the Academy team. I don't think they're going to let any of the Academy team players leave. So Anda is getting traded.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you this, Pharaoh, you are not a popular man in Twitch chat because of your Bjergsen take. And
people like Bjergsen.
people like him, and I'm one of those people that thinks he's pretty good, man.
Oh,
I'm not
good.
suggesting it's more possible for us to get Bjergsen than DeMonte. I'm not suggesting that because I'm in the camp that I don't think Bjergsen leaves. I just don't think he leaves. But that said, the rest of the take, I mean, like I'm kind of okay with the rest of the take. The Bjergsen thing is where I'm like really not sure. Let me ask you this, DeMonte. What about you? What about DeMonte's lane presence? How do we feel about DeMonte's laning phase?
Okay, this is the thing. DeMonte is getting to Worlds. That means nothing. We got to Worlds last year. We got smoked. That's facts.
Okay.
I mean, we got Fnatic and Invictus.
And IG, yeah.
And IG, yeah, in the same pool.
It was a
So
little
it's not-
rough.
Very
Yeah,
rough.
it's rough to compare and tell that if we were smoked or we had the dead pool. But I mean, DeMonte played really good towards the whole year. He doesn't have a full team paying him. I'm gonna go with, let's say, 500k to Bjergsen, sorry.
You think we can get Bjergsen for 500,000?
No, I mean, it's just an example. And
Okay.
DeMonte is getting about 100k. Yeah,
Okay.
but he played better.
For
He's
example's
not a-
sake, okay, but I think those numbers are off. But
he played better. He's okay. Again, he's trying to prove himself against all these EU mid laners, and I think Bjergsen is overhyped after all these years because last time we saw him popping off was 3 years ago. And TSM tried to build a roster towards him, and they failed to do that. But they didn't only fail because of the management things. It's also because the player couldn't handle it, because of the player didn't know how to express himself, how to build his own team. And now we got Damonte, a player that has played his ass off, getting better, getting recognized, not getting dropped over an EU mid laner. He wants to win, and I think that's the most important thing at this moment to look at. Not the mechanical, not the experience, but how the players are developing themselves in these last 2-3 years.
Okay, so you're going with the ultra, like, it's all about not on the riff stuff. It's about like the attitude, it's about the will and all that.
Yeah.
Here's what I'll say, man. Like, okay, I get that, and I think there's something to be said for that, but that thing is not that Bjergsen is not better than Damonte. The thing to be said for Damonte is like, cool, man, you've done a really good job, Tanner, for your team, man. But like, Bjergsen basically, like you said, he hasn't popped off for like 3 years. He was crushing in spring. He like basically single-handedly ended us in 2018.
He was good enough then.
Dude, I gotta hard disagree with this, but I appreciate your heart and your spirit. To me, you are like Damonte. You've got the will to make this take win. You've got the fire in your heart. You've got the desire. You've got the passion for this take. Also, though, that doesn't mean your take is gonna win. I gotta say. And I love you, dude. You know I love you. Me. You know I love you. Chat hates your take. I'm not liking your mid lane take very much.
I love you, chat. I love you.
It's all love. It's all love in the this is hard work, man. Coming up with takes, it ain't easy.
Okay, here's what I'll say. So I'll be the one grading this take, and then we'll prepare for the next one. But
okay.
So I think the mid lane thing is really hard for me to get past. I see you. What you said on bot lane, I'm good with that. Top lane someday. I mean, I think pretty much everybody thinks if we have the import slot available, we should use it on someday. So it's hard to disagree with that. And Xmithy, I mean, I like Xmithy if we make it happen. I'm not sure how possible it is that we make that happen. And I don't know. It still does feel like an upgrade to me, but I think he does have a limited lifespan on his career because he's already pretty old, but he's still doing pretty well. I'm so stuck on this mid lane take, dude. I can't get off of it. So I'm going to award you a score of 63. 63. Ooh. And I'm sorry that's low, but man, I just can't get on board with the mid lane take. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to say one more thing.
Okay.
It's not about, this is not about playstyle, but more about if I was 100 Thieves management, if I was Jackson talking with Papa Smithy on choosing the new roster, I will go 100% Damonte over Bjergsen just for the content. You know, the heist. You need to get hyped to the heist.
You think it would be more hype for them to announce a Damonte signing than a Bjergsen signing?
Announcement, but the actual.
Just imagine putting the Tanner time.
Fairho, no. Here's where your road on Keep It 100 ends. And dude, again, all the love in my heart for you. I love you and miss you already, but we got to get you the heck out of here for that. All right, Fairho.
Thanks for joining us, buddy.
Good game, buddy.
Yeah,
good game. I will give you honor for not tilting.
Yes.
Okay.
Always.
So Jordan.
Shout out to...
Oh, he got kicked right as he was shouting out John Robinson and Oak Boys, I think.
So quick, finish your shout out real quick.
Shout out to Oak Boys. Shout out John
Robinson.
Robinson.
There we go.
Right. Always. Yes.
All right. Shout out 100 Talk 2. I never heard that, but okay.
Bye.
I think we've got our next one just about ready to go, right?
It's ready.
Okay.
It's ready. Are we going to say this is the last one?
I think let's do 2 more. If you're good, let's do 2 more of these.
I'm good.
All right.
I'm good.
So 2 more. This will be our second to last one.
I'll be back.
And then people who are waiting in the chat for it to be our last selection, I encourage you to meet in real life and fight to the death and see who prevails. Whoever does. Why haven't you left yet, dude? Why haven't you left? Go get the other dude. Yeah, meet IRL and have just a fight, and whoever wins the fight will honor that result. Okay. And we'll queue up CozmikFlash, who's going to be here in just a second.
All right. I was just going back through and reading all of the messages, and I'm about like 10% away through. So I'm going to go do the rest, and then I'll make a decision, and then we can get this thing on. I'm just kidding. Here's CozmikFlash.
CozmikFlash, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I've been listening to you guys for like over a year now. It's great to finally talk to you.
Nice, man. That means you're one of the OGs because we had our
pod.
Yeah, you're one of the Den of Thieves guys, right?
Yeah. That's, I believe it. It's been a long time, and I just put you guys on Spotify every week at work. It's a great listen.
Nice, thanks, man.
I've even I actually also want to shout out to your company IEBA for their esports graphic. I actually used that in a presentation.
Oh wow.
Before about esports. So.
Wow, that's harkening back to I think like 2015 or something. So it's probably super out of date, but and now everyone knows where I work, so you automatically lose 5 points for kind of doxing me. But
it was publicly posted.
We'll let you earn back your credit. But that's cool, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So CozmikFlash, where are you calling from?
I am calling from San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio, Texas. I am very fond of Texas. What is your roster take for us tonight?
All right. So number one, I just want to say, like every other 100 Thieves fan, I'm 100% on the bandwagon for Bjergsen.
Okay.
I don't know how that doesn't seem like the best possible outcome for us.
It's probably true for every team in the LCS.
Yeah. Well, but I think especially like I imagine that Nadeshot, like so far, he's all about building his brand, right? And when you think of Bjergsen, you think he is the TSM brand, and I imagine that Nadeshot's gonna do everything he can to try to snipe that. As well as, he likes to win. He likes to sign the big names and try to get a winning team up there. So
that said, what would you, if you had to put a percentage on the likelihood of Bjergsen joining 100T, what would you personally say?
So it's difficult to say because honestly, I don't know what their financial situation is. I know they've spent a lot of money getting Bang.
Mm-hmm.
They're spending a lot of money, in all their different branches with esports. And, part of the reason they didn't engage in Call of Duty this year was because they want to be fiscally responsible. So without really knowing how much they have in the coffer to put Bjergsen on the team, it's hard to make that estimation. Part of the reason that I think they might be able to get away with it is honestly, I think if they get Bjergsen, they get rid of Afram. And the reason I say that, number one, it saves money. Number two, when you have Bjergsen, Amazing, and Aframu on the same team, I feel like that's too many cooks in the kitchen when it comes to shot calling, right?
Okay.
Okay, so everything here, and so if we look back in the spring season, before we really got Ryu, we had Amazing and Aframu doing the shot calling, and nothing was really happening.
Okay.
So I can't, after it's been a pattern, and I was a staunch supporter of Aframu. He got MVP of the split, and everybody has rough splits, and the whole team was failing as a whole. But I really think at this point it's one of those weak links, and if you take off the health bars and the nameplates in those games, I mean, I'm thinking of the Pike game particularly, where I just watched him face check into a bush.
Yeah, that was not a good game.
Barely came out alive because his team saved him. Like, I've seen him make so many mistakes that this is a guy who's been in the LCS for pretty much since season one. Like, he used to be an ADC main that one of our sport. I mean, he's been an all-star, and this play is not indicative of what I think of with Aframu. But at this point, unless we get another coach, and I'm thinking maybe somebody like Zix, because it doesn't seem like he's going to be at TSM much longer. I don't see how we get Aframu to turn on what we know he can do. And if we're bringing in other players who can still perform that shot calling and leadership role, Ignar or any of those other supports, I think will get us there.
So hold on. Let's clarify your take here, because remember, we do want a concrete thing from you. Are you saying Bjergsen is your mid laner? Are you saying we get Bjergsen is our mid laner?
Yeah, I think we do everything we can to get Bjergsen.
Okay, and then that
Everything
necessitates an Aframu move. Are you suggesting Ignar to replace him?
So that's the other thing is I think if we get Bjergsen, I think suddenly it sort of changes the game of who we're able to attract for support. And I don't know if you're able to offer trades or if there's still sort of buying players from other teams is an option like it has in past seasons. You know, sometimes you can buy the rights to a player similar to like do in soccer clubs.
Everybody's
I
got
don't
a
know how
price.
that works.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know what supports are available on the free market because I hadn't really committed to the idea of getting rid of Aframu until a few weeks ago when it just it just seems like enough is enough. But I want to get to the other part of my take, which is if we can't get Bjergsen, I don't think you touch anything.
So,
and I'm saying that
so no Bjergsen, roster stays the same.
Right. And the reason I say that is because you have to go back to the sort of strategic thinking of being fiscally responsible. What is available if we don't get Bjergsen? What is available out there that could actually be such a vast improvement to get us to Worlds that it's worth the risk? Because when you look at professional sports teams, aside from having talented players, everything that gets them to where they are is a system and consistency, team chemistry. And if we keep trying to change things up every split or every year, it's really hard to get that and attain it. And if you look at our team performance, if we hadn't had those first couple games where we didn't know what we were doing, we were messing with the roster trying to fit the right team comp, we would be in the playoffs. We had a winning roster.
That is
so
not a guarantee. You can never make that guarantee. I just want to point that out. I get where you're coming from on that. But Jordan, what did we say the win rate was? 53%?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
so we are very close to a coin toss on record with this roster. And I get what you're saying. Like, don't take this as no, we wouldn't have made playoffs, but it is definitely not a given that we make playoffs.
So I feel like I think the last two games were definitely off, and part of that could be because of pressure. I guess I should have prepared more for this. I'm pretty sure when I look back, it was like the record with those players was 7-5, right?
No. It was because that was 12 games. They played, was it 14 together? No, they did play 12 together. But the tiebreaker, they lost the tiebreaker. They were 7-6.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. So yeah, I can hear what you're saying. I think you give that team more time to shine with chemistry. Like I don't love it. I think Fake God still needs to develop. I think obviously Ryu is our savior, and you know, if there's a 100T Hall of Fame, I want to put him in it just because.
For sure.
But obviously we want to make that change eventually. I think what we do now is if the goal is to keep being successful and building the brand, right? Like you don't touch that and risk having another failed split. And is it worth spending all this money when you're already spending all this money on Bang? Your Aframu obviously makes a big paycheck. What are you actually getting that's worth the risk? And if you're Papa Smithy and you're coming in, you just want to make improvements, right? You don't want to, try to blow up everything and then get all this criticism right off the bat. You want to try to make those incremental improvements.
My counter to that would be that this team has demonstrated via their spending and acquisitions that they want to win now and they don't want to wait. They are a startup, but they're a startup with a specific amount of runway, and you have to get results to stick around. I would say that I don't think that's the attitude of the team is like, even if that's kind of the truth that, like, say we get our ideal roster. Hold on 1 second. Say we get our ideal roster. Say we get everything we ever hoped for. We still have to ask ourselves, are we better than Team Liquid? You know what I mean? Are we going to be able to compete on a Worlds level? I think for 100 Thieves, they want an LCS title. I think Worlds is I don't think they expect to win Worlds, but I think they do expect to be able to compete for an LCS title. And I get that sometimes the right pieces just aren't there for you to be able to make a move towards that, but I don't think that's going to preclude them from trying.
Right, and I can understand that. And I think part of my experience now is like working for a professional sports franchise and sort of trying to balance those goals. Like no team, if you're competitive, you never want it to be your goal to just settle. You never want to be mediocre, get just enough to make the playoffs or to try to get it. And I meant a team that goes to Worlds. And obviously, you know, when you look back, we had Medios and Cody Sun. We had the talent.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, barring Cody Sun's Tristana and some other issues, you know, it's obvious that we know how to put together a roster. So that's not necessarily my worry. I think that the roster we have now, if those pieces go elsewhere, you know, maybe other than Ryu, I think you would see a similar story of them performing well. And I think what we have to do now is get consistency and get a system. And I don't know if that includes Prowley, but yeah. I look at our roster and I can see on really good days. I mean, Bang is a 2-time world champion. Why would he not be better than Doublelift? Aframo has been in this league for 9 years. Why would he not be better than Corey J? You know, Ryu's been around since before Faker. You know, of course he can shot call. Like our player, you saw Someday like 1v3 with Urgot and other.
Uh-oh.
Did we lose him? We lost CozmikFlash. All right.
Lost CozmikFlash
again. So
no,
he's here. He's like online. He went idle, I think. So I think we have to go on the assumption that we keep our roster the same as CozmikFlash's take, because, you know, it's got to be, in my opinion, it's less than a 50-50 that we get Bjergsen. Or do you disagree with that, Jordan?
No, I don't think by any stretch that that's a certainty or that it's even likely.
Okay. So given that, how would you grade the take that without failing to get Bjergsen, we stay the same?
I get exactly where he's coming. And
yeah, I get it too.
Coming from. And I think this is a conversation that you and I had at a couple of different points throughout this last year, which was, you know, the risk of continuing to try things at great cost without the return is that eventually you just run out of the ability to do that. Either fans start leaving you or you literally just run out of money. And you can't make those big marquee signings anymore. So, you know, I think credit where it's due. I think this is a very reasoned take. It's, you know, it's not the flashy. Nobody is going to get excited about us fielding the same team. And I think that there's risk in doing that as well. I think that the organization, I don't think that's the identity we want to have. We don't want it to look like we're settling. This is an 8th place squad. Don't forget, that's where we ended the split. And Nade went out and said it, that we're going to make changes.
That's what I was going to bring up. I'm glad you brought that up.
He said at the end of summer. So,
and he delivered every time he said that. Yeah.
And he's delivered. The results haven't followed, but he's delivered. When he says things will change, things change. So I think we can count on things changing. I do think that CozmikFlash's take is one worth talking about, though. And I think that any good team needs to do that. How far does the pendulum swing? What is your allowance on that? Because if you look at this and say 8th place squad, blow it up, new players, new things, try everything new coach. I think that you do run the risk of too much variability that doesn't let people know what kind of a team you are, your fans included, and that doesn't allow you to actually make incremental change over the course of a longer period of time.
So where would you rate this take?
I'm going to give it let's go a solid 70.
Yeah. I think that's right. Yeah. Cause it's like, I agree that it's well reasoned and everything. I just don't think that's the path that they're going, you know, because like you said, I think they will make changes. They've said they're making changes. I think they will. But I get the take. I don't have a problem with the take itself.
Yeah. It's not an F take. Like this is not a bad take. This is an important take. It's one you have to think about and talk about as an organization on your way to what your plan will be.
Right. Okay. Well, that said, why don't you pull our final guest here?
Back into Discord world.
He's going to go Skarner ult somebody into the channel.
All right, bye.
See ya. And just before this last one, I want to say to chat, you guys are awesome. Thank you for watching this show tonight. It's been kind of fun, actually. I'm not going to lie. It's been pretty fun. And I had my misgivings about doing this, but I'm glad we did. It's been a fun hang with you guys. We've one more shot to set the record here. I don't think we've had an A take yet, but we got close. So let's see if our next guest is going to be able to do this. Jordan, would you please kindly inform the chat who our final guest is?
Our final guest of the evening, and the one destined to give us the most well-reasoned, because he's been listening, and well-thought-out take is none other than Blasian.
Blasian, I trust that you won the fist fight that was had among the Audible Hang members.
Yeah, I was plotting.
Good. And I do want to say the people who are waiting to get in that didn't get to get in, we're so sorry. We love you anyway. Please don't kill us. I know you. You're probably killed in that fight, so we don't have to worry about you. But we still love you, and we miss you. We'll miss you. Okay, Blasian. Where are you calling from, Blasian?
North Carolina right now.
Oh, that's not your usual location, is it?
No, sir.
All right. Do you want to reveal your typical location for clout?
New York.
There you go.
Is that New York City or upstate?
New York City.
Okay.
Blasian's a city kid.
City guy.
Blasian is also he played Blitzcrank on he played Rec League on one of my memorable Blitzcrank nights. Memorable for the right reasons, not for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Haters, don't even raise your hand.
That's right. Blasian, what's your roster take today?
All right, I got 2 takes.
Okay.
First one would be, well, first of all, to start off, I don't mind if we keep like most of the same roster, if not all of it.
Okay.
Just like change the culture and everything. But for the sake of discussion, I put 2 rosters together.
All right.
All right. One would be Keen in the top lane.
Ooh.
Smithy at jungler.
Okay.
Bjergsen or Damonte in the mid lane.
Jeez.
Bang and Afro.
You really went pie in the sky on this one.
Sorry, it was Damonte or who?
Bjergsen or Damonte.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard. Yeah. Okay.
So
and Bang
I just want to clarify. So you think we can pull off Keen, Smithy, Bjergsen, Bang Afro?
Yep.
Ooh.
I think that'd probably be the most expensive out of everything.
I think that is. Yeah, I think that is. Okay, what's your other take?
Okay, so the other one would be either Hans or Fake God on the top lane.
Okay.
Xmithy.
Okay, Smithy's your guy both times. Oh, and Bjergsen. All right, cool.
Bang and Gorilla.
Ooh, Gorilla. All right, I was wondering if someone was going to bring Gorilla into this. Blasian, here's what I want you to do. We have to spend time with one of these 2 takes. So I want you to pick one to be your main, and then for your secondary take, just give me like the 30-second version of it.
All right, I'll do the second one for my main.
Okay.
All right, so that one's the Hanser / Fake God, Xmithy, Bjergsen, Bang, and Gorilla.
Yeah. So can you give me the 30-second on the one that you're not going with?
Yeah, sure. So pretty much the other one would be Keen, Xmithy, Bjergsen or Damonte, Bang and Afro. The top side would just literally like carry. That's what the whole point would be.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so
you just have a crazy carry top side.
So you think Keen Smithy is gonna have synergy out of the box ready to go?
I think Smithy is just gonna be like a really good selfless jungler. Like he's shown it. He has like the 2nd most titles won, so he'd be really good. And I think if you have Damonte and Keen, it's just like a lot of potential of like crazy team fighting and just like carrying in general.
Okay.
You could say the same for Bjergsen too, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
And Bang and Afro would already have synergy, so.
I'm curious on your take on this. So if you had to rank Keen on like the world top laners, where would you put him?
Top 3 easily.
Top 3. So we get a top 3 in the world top laner. What's gonna happen to someday?
Honestly, I think it'd be cool if he went to Korea, just because like I think he'd perform like really good on the Korean team. He has the talent to compete with the best. So
he could play in LCK, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be like He'd be like top 4 top laners in LCK.
Wow. Okay. All right. I think that's a tad spicy. I think he's very good. Top. I don't know. Maybe it's possible.
He could get picked up.
But
I don't know if he's top 4.
And then
he could get picked up for sure.
And then like we've talked about Bjergsen a lot, so I don't want to go into that. So all right, let's dive into the take that you're actually going with. Okay.
Okay. So Hanser. Start off Hanser. I think Hansler is a good player. I think people like underrate him kind of now
Mm-hmm.
that he's not like on TSM. But I think he's had like a lot of good performances on Golden Guardians. Like he helped them get the playoffs along with Froggen. Even though I know you think Froggen has a punchable face.
Froggen for sure has a punchable face, and I'm glad you brought that up.
But I think honestly, I think TSM made a mistake in dropping Hansler. He just had a bad year, but I think he's like really good.
I was gonna say, like, how much of Golden Guardian success would you attribute to Hansler as opposed to Froggen? Because I think those are the two places most people are looking.
I think equally, like, because the meta was solely like solo lane focus, so
Okay.
both had to perform really well.
All right. So to put this another way, you think Hansler to Golden Guardians had just as much impact as Froggen to Golden Guardians?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's hear your you had Xmithy in jungle, right, for this one too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Same.
Like I said, Xmithy's just like a good all-around player. Like he's not gonna throw the game or anything really in NA. Maybe internationally, but like in NA, he'll be fine against any jungler.
Okay. I can't really argue that point about Xmithy. All of my concerns about Xmithy are like, it's either can we do that and acquire him, or
well, he's a free agent. I could see Team Liquid picking up Svenskeren because he's a NA resident next split. So
oh, is that right?
It's in the realm of possibility. Yeah.
Ah, interesting. Okay. So we
Wouldn't
get
that be a
one
squad?
man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yep.
Okay.
And we can just get past Bjergsen, I guess. We could just go
Okay,
like
but
put
I
Bang
do.
Gorilla
Let me
bot
just
lane.
ask you how. Like again, what is the % likelihood you think of us getting Bjergsen?
I say like 40 to 60.
So
in that
you're
realm.
so in other words, 50-50. And
Yeah.
and but here's like it's a toss up in your mind. Like, is it just like for you? Is it if he leaves, he's ours, or do you think he's gone and he's going somewhere else, possibly, or what? Like, how do you think that situation plays out?
I think if the right European team offers, he would join a European team. Like, I think there's still teams in Europe that would pick him up just for his brand because he has a lot of fans. So I don't really see that being impossible for him to go back to Europe.
Do you think he would go to one of the smaller teams though? Like, because the top teams are pretty well cemented at this point.
I could
Like,
see
he'd
him
have to
going
go.
to I could see him going to like Origin.
Yeah.
And placing Nuke Duck, I guess. That'd be interesting.
I know a couple of people have thrown out Nuke Duck as a possibility for us. How do you feel about that?
Oh, really? He'd be good. I just don't know what would we like do if they are the import slot, if that did happen.
Well, for
Yeah,
you, you're getting
that's
rid
the
of
thing.
Someday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but it's because Gorilla's coming into the bot lane.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Should I talk about the bot lane?
Yeah, talk
now?
about bot lane, please.
All right. So Bang is like I was saying this in the chat about the Ignar thing. Bang's gonna be like he's just gonna farm pretty much. And Gorilla, when he played with like Prey, that was pretty much what they're known for, is just playing stable. Like they're who you don't play around pretty much. They're like the go to late game bot lane.
Mm-hmm.
So and they both speak Korean, and they like just have the they probably have good synergy off the bat somewhat. So I feel like they'd be like a stable bot lane, and they'd both like also be able to get the team to late and just like carry in the late game fights. And so if that roster, you'd probably play around Bjergsen and Hansler more.
Okay, now Oh, go ahead, Jordan. You first.
I think you're the first person on tonight who has put forward a roster that acknowledges the play style of our bot lane.
Yeah.
I like that.
I want to know, Blasian, what you think the likelihood of Gorilla is.
Oh, he's a free agent now. I could see it happening. Like I'd say, like if the org wanted him, it's 100%.
Wait, say that again. I missed the first part. If the org wanted him, it's 100%.
Yeah, like I feel like it's pretty much like 100% he would join, just because Papa.
Okay, so can you go into the Papa thing? Like, I feel like a lot of people are saying because Papa Smithy has spent time in Korea, he seems to have this magic ability to get everybody to say yes. So can you defend that to me?
Well, for Gorilla, like I picked Gorilla specifically because to like Papa, Gorilla's like the homie. Like he posts like memes about Gorilla on Twitter, like every time he wins or loses.
Was that
So
the
I feel like
the English lesson today? Was that also? Did I thought I saw? Yeah, I forget who it was that tweeted a picture with Papa Smithy, and I thought
And like
it was
whenever
him.
Gorilla like won, he'd post like a picture of a gorilla, and it was like a meme. So he'd be like, "Gorilla won today," and post a picture of a gorilla. So yeah, they're like close together. And Gorilla, now that he was like on Misfits, he like can speak English pretty good.
I was
So-
gonna ask like, because I literally don't know, so this is me showing my ignorance hand. But like, how much has Gorilla played for Misfits? Is he like constant
What'd
starter?
you say? Sorry.
Has Gorilla
yeah,
been
he
constant
was-
starter?
Well, in the beginning of the year he was, but later on they like replaced the whole roster with their academy roster.
So he's just kind of been
Everything
chilling.
like blew. Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Okay. Interesting. All right. Interesting. Okay, so say one more time. Say the full thing because I'm gonna grade you.
For you said say them both or just,
No, just
the
this
one
one.
I just
This
said?
one that we've been going in on.
Oh, Hanser, Earthfake God, Xmithy, Bjergsen, Bang, and Gorilla. I feel like this team would be just good for like overall macro and like team fighting.
I think it's an okay team. I think it's a pretty good team. It sounds like a pretty good team, doesn't it? Is it, Jordan? Am I wrong? It sounds like a pretty good team.
It does sound like a good team.
My hang up is more on the likeliness side because I'm not, as I've said ad nauseum, I'm not sure about this Bjergsen thing.
I mean,
did we already say is Hanser a free agent?
No, he's not.
So
I
we're
think it
buying
has
out
to be a
Hanser, so
buyout.
that's more cash.
And we've got Xmithy, and we've picked up Bjergsen. I mean, it's a good team. There are
Yeah,
some
It's
things
an
that happen along
expensive
the
team.
way.
Okay, so in light of that, dude, I think I got to give it an 80. I'm going to give you an 80 because
Oh,
I
sweet.
like it, but I think that there's a lot of likelihood issues there.
Yeah, a bunch of others
Yeah.
for sure.
But it's not on the impossible side of likelihood. I mean, it could happen. It could happen. And you've buffered Hanser with Fake God, which is a smart move because that was the only one that is the buyout, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
It's just-
buyout it's more money to get a player that's like not gonna, in my opinion, it's not like a world changing player either. I agree with you in the sense that I think he's a little underrated.
Yeah.
But it's like you're shelling out extra money to get him over there, assuming you can't pull some trade, which just trades just doesn't happen very often, So
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Blasian, it's been a pleasure to have you tonight. Thank
Yep,
you for sharing
same.
your unique take with us, man. Thank you for bringing Gorilla into this.
Sticking around till the end, winning the battle royale.
That's right. Thank you. Please donate to the families of the victims from the fight that you wanted to get on. Please do that for me,
Yep.
okay?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Blasian,
Thanks everybody for watching.
yeah, man, we love you. We miss you already.
Take care.
All right, Jordan, if you would,
Yes.
please. I believe you've been taking notes on scores. Is that correct?
I have been.
Okay. So, I would like to know, out of everyone who came on the show tonight, who was closest to keeping it 100?
Close. Is this person setting the curve? Shall we just award them the 100?
Yes,
Or-
we can award them the 100 and adjust.
All right. After all of the takes have been graded, the curve tonight has been set by our friend Shadow Wing
Shadow Wing from Brazil
from Brazil,
is the man
who
set the curve.
and who requested this opportunity. He knew that he had something going.
Good point.
Congratulations, Shadow.
Congratulations
That's-
for talking the talk, walking the walk,
Yeah.
doing all
Keeping
of the
100.
above, man. Congratulations. Being the one who kept it the most 100. If that's like the weakest possible phrasing I can think of it.
He kept it approximately 100, keeping it approximately 100.
Graph points out in chat, but did he cure diseases? That's
true.
something, but that unfortunately doesn't factor into the grade on this rubric.
right.
In the
That's right. It
rubric
wasn't
of
outlined in the
life,
criteria.
it matters and it's important. Listen, everyone, this was actually really fun. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed hearing from everybody, and I think we had I was nervous about the level of take we'd get. And aside from one person who's very dear to us that said Bjergsen is washed up and terrible, I think most of the stuff was fairly reasonable tonight. So I'm pretty proud of that.
I'm not surprised. the people who are interested in listening to us talk about this stuff, they're reasonable folks. There's no other way I can arrive at this.
That's the opinion we have of ourselves.
That's my opinion. No, I say that because we are not out here dropping like incendiary takes every week. Right?
Sure.
Like if all you're out there is looking for is to spread some gossip.
We're
and
trying
make
to be
stuff
the
about it.
reliable dads who are not going to make you throw your life away with the advice that they give.
Exactly. And we've got a bunch of people who've elected to spend just a little bit of time listening to a couple of reliable dads. Reasonable folks. That's what they are.
All
That's
right.
what I'm saying.
All right. That's the brand, man.
That's my
That's
take.
the move. That's the brand.
Ice cold take.
Well, look, everybody, we had fun. Who knows? Maybe in 2020 this will happen again, but it'll take some doing. But we got Worlds coming up. We got a lot of stuff to watch for. I'm gonna be watching our ex-boy Levi on Gigabyte Marines doing his thing. I'm
No
gonna
longer
be
Gigabyte
actively. Oh, I'm sorry, he's not. Wait, when did that hit you?
No, they're not Gigabyte Marines. It's GAM.
But they're Gigabyte Marines. And I'm also going to be actively rooting against G2. So if you want to join me in the anti-G2 viewing channel, I welcome that. Penguin's asking about the next Rec League. That is likely Thursday. We're trying to go every Thursday on Rec League. My work schedule is getting a little crazy for the next 6 weeks or so there might be a little spottiness, but we'll do our best. Unicorns of Love will rise again. Yes, we hope so. We hope we get some more memorable Unicorns of Love games as well. Everybody,
I'll be watching.
thanks for listening tonight. To keep it 100,
Thanks for talking
Keep
tonight.
it 100. The perhaps the one of one show that we do.
You tell your kids you made it. You were here.
You were here for that. We love you. We miss you already. We wish you all the best in life. All the best things that free agency has to offer for 100 Thieves. Goodbye.
Take care, everybody.